We're going to take a look at two traits of good leaders in this episode. The first is leaders need to be courageous, and the second is that the good leader needs to have a thick skin. In 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 58, the Apostle Paul writes, quote, "Therefore, my beloved brethren, be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that your labor is not in vain in the Lord." Unquote. Good leaders are realists who know that there are going to be tough problems, annoying obstacles, and difficult challenges as they move forward in pursuing their vision. More than that, they count on them. A good leader knows it's those challenges that help shape what the end thing will look like when it's finally accomplished. Remember what we realized when first talking about vision back at the start of this series. The initial vision is almost always just a broad outline of where to go. It lacks clarity, focus, definition. But as you move towards it, it gets clearer. It's negotiating the challenges on the way towards seeing the vision become reality that shapes the vision and brings it into focus. Think of vision like a set of binoculars. You look through them at some distant object. It's blurry, but you see the general shape. And so you spin the focus wheel and the image gets sharper. Dealing with difficulties and getting through obstacles are the way that you spin that focus wheel on vision. Without stretching the analogy too far, some challenges are even like that, extra fine-tuning wheel on really expensive binoculars. It's as we deal with them that some small but ultimately crucial part of the vision falls into place. A good leader knows that challenges can unite the team that he or she leads as they work together to find and implement solutions. Hardship is also a great way for a leader to model a crucial leadership trait, and that is courage. Remember what makes a level 5 leader great is that he or she aims at what happens in people, that is, in the team that they're leading. So the leader stays on track and isn't distracted or diverted from the course set by the vision. He models courage for others. More than that, he encourages them. He puts courage into them with words of hope and an example of pressing through challenges. And he monitors his attitude the entire time to ensure that his team sees him using challenges and difficulties as a way to propel the entire endeavor forward. One of the greatest gifts that he can give them is to see a change of attitude towards hardship from defeat to the anticipation of victory over it. A precious promise from God to bolster our courage in the face of trials is Romans 8:28, which says that all things work together for good for those who love God and are the called according to his purpose. Well, the next verse tells us what that purpose is. It's to be conformed to the image of Christ. Many people stop with verse 28 and then think that the good that all things work towards is some good that they prefer, what they want to be. But verse 29 tells us what the good that all things are working towards is that we would be conformed to the image of Christ. You see, God is a level 5 leader par excellence. His whole thing is to build us up and edify us into nothing less than the image of his Son. And that means, as we yield to him and pursue the vision that he's given us, hardships and challenges aren't distractions. The enemy may mean them to end that way, but God allows them as a way to mold and shape us. We cannot accomplish the vision without also becoming the kind of people the vision can be accomplished by. God gave me a vision for my ministry at the church that I pastor 43 years ago. I was nowhere near the man nor the pastor that I needed to be then to do the ministry that is now taking place at the church 4 decades later. It's all of the trials and obstacles I endured that shaped me and the team that I lead to become what we are today, doing that ministry. If I could go back to the Lance that I was then, with the wisdom and the perspective that I have now, I'd tell myself to never lose heart, never doubt, never give in to the fear and anxiety the enemy tried time and again to sink me in, but to face every challenge with the joy of knowing that God is faithful and will do something in and through the hardships that will make me the man and the leader that I need to be for the future that's coming, a future I now stand in. I can't go back to the early 1980s Lance, so I'll do the next best thing and say all of that to you. Don't lose heart. Don't give in to the anxiety and fear when a semi-truck of trouble jackknifes across your path on the way to your vision. Let your team, those you lead, see your smile as your anticipation grows to see how God is going to open that semi-truck to show you that it is packed with resources that you need for what's coming in the days ahead. Good leaders don't whine and complain. They get to work. Now, the second trait of good leaders that we'll look at is the need for a thick skin. Hey, leaders lead, and that means change. We can't go there unless we leave here. But as every leader discovers, some people are change averse. They seem to be allergic to it. They want everything to stay as it is. So, when a leader proposes change, they resist. When the leader makes it clear that he or she is not going to be stalled by their intransigence, critics will often move from attacking the proposed change to attacking the changer, the leader, the one they deem as bringing what they regard as unnecessary and even dangerous change. They point out flaws and mistakes, both real and imagined. It's easy to let critics get to you. They can be annoying and petty, seeming roadblocks to progress. But good leaders count it as part of the territory their leadership has to traverse. They anticipate criticism from naysayers. So they have a thick skin. They ignore the nattering nabobs of negativity. They refuse to reply to personal attacks. I want to encourage you to read the Gospels and take a look at how Jesus dealt with his critics. He often just ignored their jabs, but other times he answered them. A closer look reveals that Jesus only answered when the accusations misrepresented his mission and harmed his followers' trust in him. If they didn't pose a threat, he tended to ignore them. Let's admit it, it hurts when critics accuse you of something. Responding to their salvos requires wisdom. If it's merely personal, let it go. But if it undermines your vision and leadership, answer it. But be careful to do so with truth. Deal with issues. Don't move towards personal insult, no matter how hurt you may be. In fact, if you're hurting, don't trust yourself to not go personal. Wait. Take your hurt to God and let him comfort you first. Then deal with the criticism from a place of confidence in your calling and your leadership.